think in today's episode, I'm actually going to speak about the art of interviewing because a lot of people assume that you need to learn all the coding, the technical skills that is necessary to transition into tech, whether you're a data analyst, software developer, or whichever tech role you're coming from. And that couldn't be further from the truth because remember, when they interview you, they're looking for a technical fit and a cultural fit. And sometimes cultural fits sometimes weighs even more than the technical skills because technical skills can be taught if a company is willing to invest in you. And mind you, I've sat with a lot of hiring managers as well as people who have been in hiring positions, and I've always seen that they always stress about they need people to be a cultural fit. So if you're new here, my name is Jennifer and I'm a full-time data analyst and full-time IT baddie. In this channel we do everything tech related, from vlogs to tech advice and all the good things. So if you like what you hear and see, don't forget to subscribe, like, and do all the nice things as we get into today's episode. So, like I've mentioned, guys, I have sat with a lot of hiring managers over my years of being a data analyst in tech and also people who have been part of the hiring process. And a cultural fit is a key thing that HR and a hiring manager looks for when they try and integrate you into a company. Because guess what? In as much as you may have learned HTML, you may have learned SQL, you may have learned Python, if you do not know how to communicate and you're just all about coding, but you don't know how to speak to what you have coded, it's very difficult for you to navigate being in corporate or in the tech space in general, because a lot of your job is also going to be about communication. There's this misconception that once you get into tech, everything that you're going to do is coding, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Whether you are in IT support, whether you're in data engineering, analytical engineering, data analysis, data science, a lot of your job is going to have to be communicating how you got from A to B via coding, via your reports, via a lot of things. So if you don't know how to communicate and they can't see that via interviews, then sometimes they snub you, because I've heard a lot of people who have said, oh, this person has been a good technical fit, but they couldn't explain how they got from A to B because, they just don't have the confidence in them, or they just don't lack the communication skills. So communication skills are very important when you get into interviews. You have to show your personality. And I'm actually going to give you a practical example as to why communication is so key when it comes to the tech space, because a lot of projects are going to have deadlines where you're going to have to communicate with big bosses like executives or head of departments or managers. And if you're unable to communicate how you got your findings, if you're unable to communicate on a timely basis, it's going to cause a lot of things to slow down. And not only that, if you're unable to communicate your analysis or what your report is trying to say to like a stakeholder, like a head of department or an executive, they might be able to make wrong decisions based off of your communication skills. And yeah, that could lead to a lot of things like profitability losses. It can lead to people getting fired for no reason. And mind you, you don't work in like isolation. So you work with a lot of different people. For example, you work with IT support sometimes for different projects. Sometimes you have to work with software developers just to test out what a product and its impact is on the company and on certain customers. Sometimes you have to work closely with data engineers and analytical engineers to describe what the data is supposed to be showing as an output so that they can make proper pipelines and all of that. Sometimes you might even have to communicate with the data scientists because you need advanced analytics from them. So as you can see, your job is always going to be constantly communicating if we're going to be speaking from a data analytics perspective. So if you don't even know how to communicate in an interview, it's going to be hard for you to learn to pick up these skills and be a cultural fit as we go along. Some people probably could, but that's just how it goes. That's how they assess it. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. But not all is lost, guys. If you know that you don't have communication skills or you suck at interviews, there are a lot of resources on TikTok and on YouTube that help you prep for specific behavioral interview questions, whether it be with hiring managers, or with HR, I love to use either platform. So I'm going to attach some screenshots above here just to show you some of the resources that I make use of. And really, it's all about practice. Rome wasn't built in a day. And trust me, I was also an introvert when I first started in the tech space. And I'm an ambivert because unfortunately, I'll never be an extrovert, but I will be an extrovert when needs be, but still go back to being an introvert. But anyways, so make sure to practice until you score an interview, until you are confident in your interview skills, because sometimes some people can see that maybe your technical skills aren't as sharp as what we need to be, but any company will get you through a training process, buy you courses so that you can be up to speed with their systems. But it's very hard to train a personality into somebody. And I think that's all for now, folks. So see you next week when I post my next video. And remember, homework, besides practicing for interviews, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and do all those nice things. And I'll see you next time.